So I'm taking a look at the model just to see if there's any issues with the normals. And if I go over to the component mode and look at my normals, it looks like they're all pointed out and facing the correct direction. And that's true for both the bell geometry as well as the light bulb geometry. So something that I found out in Unreal though is that my UVs seem to have an impact on how the glass shader affects the model, specifically if you have them overlapping versus non-overlapping. So the way that I was intending to have the model work with the asset laid out was that I would have a trim sheet provide the details to the model here. And so if I take a look at how my texture set is, you can see that I have these overlapping UV shells here across this normal detail. So if I bring this over to Unreal, or I've brought this over to Unreal, two different versions. On the right here, I have the model with the overlapping UVs that uses that trim sheet texture. And on the left, what I've done is I've got the UVs laid out non-overlapping. So switching over to Unreal, I have the ceiling fan that has that problem I had shown in my first video. And on the left here, I have both versions of the model that I was just showing in Blender. And on the right, it has the overlapping UVs, and on the left, they are non-overlapping. So if I switch over to my material instance, if I change the opacity so that it becomes completely transparent, they all look the same. And then if I switch it so that it's fully opaque, the ones that have the overlapping UVs seem to have that issue. And then the one which has the non-overlapping UVs, where they're all laid out, when they're all laid out in a non-overlapping way, that seems to work quite nicely. So the thing that I'm trying to figure out now then, I guess, is how to have a glass shader that works with a trim sheet texture, where the UVs are overlapping. So what I'm hoping to solve then is somewhere within the shader graph here, be able to point to a specific UV set. I'm not really sure like where I would put that, but that's sort of the next thing to solve. But it's nice to see that the UVs have something to do with it, so that I know what the issue is.